Okay, hey everybody, welcome. It is Sunday, the 7th of June. That's right. We are in it to win it today. We are doing what we always do, which is write a book with me from concept to completion. We are in episode 74. Wow. Keeping at it, doing what we do. Always just trying to have fun. You gotta write a book with me. Anyway, if you don't know, we've been doing this for quite some time. But before we get into the spiel, let's say hello to everybody. We got a lot of action in the room. What's up, flowers? Hello. And of course, Cindy is here. We got the Cindy. Let's say, oh, we got M's here too. What's up, M? How's it going? In my head, it's beautiful. Hey, just sending you out there right now, Cindy. Know that you are in our hearts, and I'm rooting for you because I know how it can be. I know the pains of change and loss and all these other wonderful things. So I'm glad you could sit with us, and maybe today it's a little bit of a reprieve from what's going on. But you're always welcome here, and we're always going to support you. Oh, welcome, Diana. Morning, writer nerds. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Diana. Hey, we are fine. Just waiting on a date for our move to the flat. Excited after all the hoo-ha. Hey, everyone. Cool. Is the flat large? All right. So we have a conversation going on in the room. Hello. What's up, Afghani? Boom. Let's keep it going. If you don't know, there is a poll in the comment section. We will get to it at the end of the hour. The poll today is actually, we're playing a little bit. What almost made you quit writing? We have rejection and criticism, writer's block for long periods of time, comparing myself to other authors, and of course, too much work. It's no longer fun. I got to do what to write? Forget that. Anyway, we will talk about those options. There are no wrong answers. Remember, it's all about fun. Look who just showed up. SB is present. In my head, I'm beautiful. My mother used to always say, you got a face for radio. Anyway, yes, it's been cathartic to shed. All right. Hey, Cindy. All right, let's get into it. I'll just do the spiel real quick. If you don't know, I've been writing a book for 73 hours. This will be the 74th hour. And ultimately, every Sunday we do it. I use my writing process. This is not me saying that this is the only process or the best process, or it's the process for you. It's just the Thomas J. Bellezza writing process. And we've already done the first 9 steps. We are officially writing on the first draft. Ultimately, if you don't know, we are on chapter 3.2. If you don't know what that means, it means that we went from a zero draft, which by the way looks like this. This is what a zero draft looks like. And I inserted that into the new document. And we're ultimately writing the first draft out. The reason I have chapter 3.2, just for those who haven't been following along, is because I took chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3, and I broke them up into extended chapters. Now, so my files don't get mixed up, basically what I do is if I turn chapter 3 into 2, 3, or 4 chapters, I end up saying chapter 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, whatever. Once I get to the second draft, that's when I revert it to the new chapter numbers. But right now, we're actually technically on chapter 7. That's right, chapter 3.2 is chapter 7. Chapter 7. I don't know. We really ever see ourselves in the mirror. When we look, we are surprised. I try not to look at myself in the mirror because I don't want to get sucked into it, I couldn't fall asleep last night, lying restless, developing this new idea. That means you have to write it, sir. You have to get it going. I did quit for around 15 years, but I'm happy that you came back and started writing again. Flowers, I love that you are getting those words out. Problem is, I have a lot of projects open. Yeah, but you could do more than one project. Look, I'm doing this project, but I also have The Death of a King, the Maven War series. I got the Noir. I got a couple other things in the works. It's okay. I hear you, Afghani. I often don't sleep because ideas run through my mind. 2 a.m. rolls around, and then 7 I wake up. That's cool, Afghani. I will say this. We are just working on a zero draft. So If you have questions while I'm doing this about what I am doing, feel free to ask. I love the questions. If you have questions about your own writing, remember I'm a developmental editor and a writing teacher, so it's ultimately free advice for you on the Sundays. I write my ideas in quick short stories so I can go back to them. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like to just outline my stuff. You know what I'm saying? If I have an idea, I just quickly outline it in a short form outline on the 27 plot point outline. All right. All right, where are we? Let's get into it. We're gonna start writing. Hey, look who it is! It's Emma. Ciao, Bella. Hello, Mrs. Bennett. Pepsi. Yeah, I got. This is water. This is Pepsi water. Okay, it's Pepsi water. All right. Again, for those who don't know, I'm writing a first draft, but I'm not putting a lot of crazy thought in it. I'm not trying to write perfect prose. I just want to get the ideas out and move through the narrative beats. So Laura, Olivia, check the hall, rushing around, getting items. He's moving around the. This I think I actually. Oh no, that's gonna stay. No, it's when the ship's hull is having issues. Oh yeah, yeah. That's all right. Okay, okay. All right. I have to adjust that. This leads them to go check other areas, which allows him to leave the area. This is because the person is leaving one of the stolen things within the ship itself. The love interest is actually going to take a smaller aspect of the element of the thing they stole because he has a secondary buyer. He's actually going to take a smaller. Why is that on there twice? I only need that once. All right. I missed yesterday's editing video live out getting garage clean. Hey, remember it's always pre-record. It's always recorded, so you can always watch it. It's not pre-recorded. By the way, you know what else could be cool? What? A video of you editing like yesterday, but do a plot edit of someone's outline. Well, Afghani, if somebody sends me an outline, I will be happy to do that. But I would need someone to send that. Just saying. All right. Okay, gang member 3. Hello, Angel Faye. I like the idea too, but somebody's got to send me an outline. All right. Gang member 3 has his gun out and is standing nearby watching how this makes her comfortable as she tries to focus, but she needs. Okay. Okay, this is important. I will use that later. I'm glad I remembered that. I'll send mine to you. Of course, I'm stuck. As long as it's not, if it's non-fiction outlines, but if it's fiction, like if it's an actual narrative fiction, feel free to. Hey, I'll need to write one first. Well, get on it. All right. Oh, it's the lady. Oh yeah, send that away. Send it away. Send it. All right, here goes. All right, so the beats I have to do, just so everyone knows what's going on. This is a beat. This is basically going to be a narrative beat I got to set up. Then there's one, then this, and then we have 3, 4, oh Jesus, 5, 6. Then there's a oof. All right. All right, a couple things here right off the bat. Is there another tender tree? I might actually have to make a third I might have to split this chapter up again, but we'll get there. We'll get there. The reason is because I also don't want the chapters to be so long. You know, they're insane. Because right now we're looking pretty good, even though it's a first draft. The chapters are averaging what? What is this? This is 2, 1, 50. You know, 2. They're averaging like 1,500 words. I think I want to keep the big chapters to the huge action scenes. Anyway, all right. Okay. Yeah. Actually, you know, it's so Birds of Airs. Yield. Out my hole. Fine. Hey, man. I have 11 projects. Jesus, 11 projects. Listen, if I'm editing anything, remember it's only going to be the first 300 words. If that, I'm not editing a full book live. But also, if it's an outline, that's fine. It's different. That's fine. That's all, Angel. For now, that's funny. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Again, by the way, I'm just writing first draft. I kind of want it to be more physical, but I'm trying to also write in first person, so we kind of gotta go into the character's head. Sure, I have a lot to do. Sure, I have to do all the work, but what's the point? I know they're gonna just kill me. All right. Oh, that's right. That's right. I don't know why it does this. If anyone knows how to fix this little indent issue, please let me know. Because I'm sick of having to do it for every single page. So weird. Move. G3, you're probably going, is that a name? No, I'm not putting names. Some people don't have names, if not all of them. So I'm not worrying about names right now, but I do know who they are. So what can I say, Afghani? My brain is full of stories. Mm. All right. Oh, what do we got here? I can't figure out how to fix the indent too, unless it's in the page settings or something. I know how to do it how I just did it, but I'm saying like I don't know why it's not always like that. It used to be, and now it isn't. I had fun yesterday at Comic-Con. I got a computer. Whoop whoop! That's awesome, my friend. I'm so glad you're having fun out there, getting to dress up. Wild Huckleberry. Was the Comic-Con in Hangman Valley? My patience. My patience. Oh, I think I have to write woods. Past tense was as opposed to snapping. All right. Again, I'm writing the love interest, but really, I have to put a name there. Google Docs change. You'll have to do it in every page. That's annoying. It was inside the convention center in downtown Spoake. Poor sucker. Poor sucker. Call her love interest back. That's funny. That's funny. You need help? Hey, what's up? Ghoulish gent. All right. Actually, maybe shoot. Growing up, I watched Luke and Laura on General Hospital. Can't go wrong with a Luke. All right. Let's see. All right. Oh, yeah. All right. First and foremost, we can get rid of this. We're about to do this beat here. What are we doing? How are we doing? Was it 250? 172. All right. Add more words. Add more words. Large enough to hold cargo. Have to be surrounded by your friends. Mm-hmm. Clicking his thumb. All right. So real quick, I'm doing this on purpose here. Hey, what's up there? Would be a name. Sorrenti Volée. I'm assuming Volée, or Vol. Sorrenti Vol. Sorrenti. Maybe. It's definitely a name. Let's put that here. Uh, let's see. Sorrenti Vol. Potential name. That does have some use. I like. Hey, what's up? Good to see you. We'll keep this up for watch time. You're the best. Yeah. Do. That's my DuckTales song. All right. So I'm doing something here as an example. I just kind of want to give like a quick lesson thing. So as you can see, I have this connected to this movement, but the way I would look at it is this is technically a new movement. And I would do this, even though it is still the same character speaking, right? So this is her going large enough to hold cargo, small enough to have to be around you surrounded by your friends. And then he just kind of like ignores the comment real quick, and he's like, Sector 7, small model. He said, clicking his thumb to a button, the device raised, the red light switched to a blue, and scanned the ship. They're not my friends. The reason I have that as a new passage is because it's a new movement. It has a new focus. This movement is narratively focused on him scanning the ship, whereas this movement is narratively focused on him responding to this comment. So that's something to keep in mind. When you're writing dialogue, you don't always have to connect the dialogue, the action beat, and more dialogue to one big passage. You can, and to be fair, it would just read that the way it would read if we were watching it. It would read Sector 7 small model. He said, clicking the thumb to a button, the device raised. They're not my friends, and it becomes one smooth motion. By doing this, the pace in which the information is presented changes because now this gets its own rhythm. So he says the line, Sector 7 small model, he clicks the button, the device raises, it does its thing, and now he says, they're not my friends. And there is a time beat, there's a rhythm beat that if we were watching on television, it wouldn't feel connected to this. The camera would actually cut to him saying the line, hitting the button, the device going up and go, boop, 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 and then it would cut back to him, or it would do a double shot. It would do, where she's like maybe checking the walls or whatever, and he's like, they're not my friends. So when you're writing, it's good to think about that because the presentation of what you are writing is going to influence how the reader experiences it. So it's not always just about the words or the words you choose. It is also about how you present the words, in which ways you use your passages, or I call them movements. So the reason I do that is because in screenwriting, it helped me understand the dialogue. Like, what is the movement of the dialogue? What are they doing? What is the character's purpose in this, right? So, also, the focus would help too. In long form narrative, I use movements to sort of frame the shot. So, what is the camera paying attention to? And that has helped me. Is my shirt on backwards? No. Okay. My bad. I thought I was being distracted. All right. They're not my friends. Okay. And also, I don't have to say he said or, whatever. And the reason is because this is in his voice and he's directly responding to. Now, what I could do is. Alright, then why are you always so nice to me? The device landed in his hand. Oh, it's open hand. Alright. And Orn moved his hand. What's the opposite wall? What am I looking for? Okay, here's a couple other things too, just to be clear. Again, I'm just writing the love interest, but I do want to come up with a name, but this is whatever. All right, so this is an action beat. I could be like, hey, all right, it's four holes. Uh, the reason I said he said pointing because I want to infer that he is saying the dialogue while pointing. So that's for clarity. So he's going, there's four holes, two here, right? So he's like, two here. All right. All right. So let's talk about it. So I could keep this here, but again, the love interest pressed a few buttons on his device and a map appeared above it. What I could do is I could actually give him his dialogue some like breath, some room, and allow that to sort of be its own beat, right? So if what did Afghani say his name was backwards? Love interest, but backwards. Though Evo, 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 Evo. Would that be a name? Evo, like Evo, Evo, Evo Tress, Evo Tress. Evo Tress. Laura and Evo Tress. What do you think? Evo Tress? Nay? Evo Tress. Thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What do we think? Love interest name? Evo Tress? Evo. Evo? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. All right. All right. Go back to the love interest. got a big fat no. Boom. I get it. Vetoed. All right. Thunder, snow in the mountain, extended skiing season until July 5. Wow. First of all, I thought you were giving those as options for names like thunder, snow. Calgary is filled with snow. All right. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going to give this beat a little bit more room. So the love interest pressed a few buttons. Let's just say press the button. Press button. And a map appeared above it. Rotating. It stood out. Blue. Okay. Is it stood out or stood out? See, that's interesting. I am the opposite way. I think the names I'm okay with having a name before I write, but the way I look at it is their positions, their behavior are going to develop, and that's what's going to really dictate who they are for me. But that's just my approach. Everybody has a different approach. Like my name is Thomas, but I know a bunch of Thomases and Toms, and they're not necessarily like me, you know. My girl decided to excellent. No. Evola. Why do we keep giving her the love interest a girl's name? Evola Maids. First of all, Evola though is a good name. Evola is pretty good. You'll put that there. The love interest, for the record, is a dude. Revo. We have Revo. All right, but remember, Laura's name is Laura. You know. All right. Collecting future. I always collect names. I actually have a file that's massive. That's just tons of names. And by the way, they usually start off as like I see like a street name, and I'm like, oh, and then I play with the street name, like the way it all looks. Um. Uh-oh. What was that spread? So I have a spreadsheet that basically I use. I use to this helps me with keeping track of my word count. It helps me with my timeline, so I could actually create a timeline if it was important. I don't think a timeline is that important in this story, but for epic fantasy is. I have a sheet for if I change the way time and days work. So if there's more, like for example, in the epic fantasy world I have, there are 16 months and 10 days to a week, etc., etc. I have a different time system. So in this one I don't, but in the Maven Wars, there's a 28-hour day. This is for locations. Then I have characters. Then elements are just like if I bring up something, like for example, Yarb is up here for the epic fantasy. But if I come up with like a terminology or something like that, what I do is at the end of my first draft, I go back and technically, I'm not going to do it for this, but I would read through each chapter and write down as the things come in and where they do. So it just helps me. And then if I have gods, this is my plot points. So so what I do is I have a character's name, and then I write down what the plot is, their arc, and then like I add a description of what it would look like from beginning, stuff like that. So I like to keep things organized. Just finished your editing video from yesterday. I'll take a breather and come back. I'd probably volunteer if you ever needed more chapter ones. Danny, absolutely. You know, if you have my email, you could always send me something. If you don't, just go to makearightleft.here.com, which is the website. It's as it is, makearightleft.here.com, and then just go to the contact section and email me. And you can't send anything that way, but just email me first, and then I'll respond back, and then I'll allow you to send me stuff without it going to spam. And then ultimately, I'll look at it. But I'm just looking for the first 300 words of a chapter. It could be any chapter. It could be a first chapter. It could be the last chapter. It doesn't matter. Just 300 words of an opening. I would actually love it because it looks like everybody wants me to kind of keep doing those videos, so I'll be happy to do that. But let me know if you want it to be anonymous or not, because as you can see, I did not hold back. I went all in because that's how I approach my own writing. Isn't that somebody's real character name already? Mancer. Mancer's. It's a fun name though. I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna put Mancer in the list because I do like Mancer. Mancer. I think I actually have a thing for potential name. Yeah, I have. Yeah, see, I have like a thing for surnames here with like Thomas, right? And then what I could do is I actually do this. Watch, I do boop, and it goes right in. It goes alphabetical. It's because I'm crazy, and you know it. All right, what do we got here? Afghani suggested someone send Thomas an outline for him to do developmental a draft. Again, I'm not doing a full one, but if someone wants to send me their outline, that's the 27 plot point outline, or, if it's just the first act, that's something I'll do, but, depending. Uh, my file for names is huge, probably on the other order of several thousand. Damn, that's nice, though. That's nice. It's pretty, but looks complicated. Honestly, it has a learning curve to it. I won't lie. But once you kind of get used to it, it's quite easy. It took me. I developed it. I created it, and it took me a second to sort of streamline it. There are a couple tabs on there that are like I don't need. I don't think are absolutely necessary for everybody. But like I have goods and services. I got ranks. If people if you have different factions, but I don't think all that stuff is necessary. But it's just helpful to have something to organize your stuff. That's cool. Mancer is nice too. Mancer is nice. Maybe we would call him Mancer. Is that what? That's the name, right? Mancer. Am I saying it? Mancer. Let's do that. Let's go. Is the love interest in it? Let's just call him Mancer. The hell with it. All right, Mancer. Am I spelling it right? Yeah, Mancer. Maybe. All right, Afghani being good here. Basically thought of disease, Ebola, cancer, and AIDS. Love it. I can't imagine you being mean about your advice. It's not that I'm mean. I'm definitely. I don't believe I was mean yesterday. But what I'm saying is I won't. I'll just be like, this is not working, and this is why it should work. I won't just accept that it works. I won't be like, this is great. That's what I mean. It's not that I'm being mean. It's that I will be straightforward. The guy who beat cancer. Hell yeah. You got an invite to my doc. All right, I'll look at that later. I'll look at that later for sure. I do want to go back and love interest. Anyway, Mancer. Good name, good name. I use the word count and characters basically. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you downloaded that because that document is available currently. Um and whatever works for you works for you. I think that's the thing with all writing, Use what you can. I'm planning my characters out with their lotus flower petal sections for my story. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love. Okay, what are we at? Are we at 200 yet? Ooh, we're almost at 3. I'm happy now. Okay. It's 4 homes, 2 characters. I kind of glanced over what I was saying here. Anyway, I gave this its own breathing space, and then he has his own dialogues. He said pointing. One in the back and over there. All right. Oh, you know what I totally forgot to do? Because Felix is a new element to it, I gotta add a note. Jesus, there's a lot of notes. All right. Felix is here. Felix is here. Let's do this. Let's do a bear squealed through the hole. Is it out cold or out cold? Out cold or out cold? Like knocked out? Out cold. What do we got? Last week vacation. Nice. Could I have my characters all share the same lie? The answer to that is yes. You technically could have all your characters sharing the same lie, but at the same time, also bear in mind, if I were you, make sure that when the truth of the lie is revealed, that it's different for each of them, that they're not all, because you don't want them to all basically be the same character. Him over there in the bed, out cold. Look at this. So, in the previous chapters, there's a character named Felix. He's like the navigation guy, and they used him to get into the ship, which was a change in the narrative. And ultimately, they knocked him out, and she saw this all happen on the monitors. So I have to remember that Felix is still in the story. So I just made a beat where she recognizes him. All right. You know, man said. I guess it's watch. Variation of the same way. Oh yeah. Ooh, we're almost. Wow, an hour is lie. A bit of Muay Thai works every time. By the way, if anyone doesn't know, there is a poll in the comment section. Feel free to jump on that. We will talk about it at the end of the hour. We got 16 viewers, potentially only 15 votes. What almost made you quit writing? We have rejection and criticism. Ooh. We have writer's block for long periods. We have comparing myself to other authors. And of course, too much work. No longer fun. Let's get into it. We're almost there. We got 15 more minutes. All right. No, when I do. What happened? Okay. Thinking. Always thinking. All right, let's see. Might have to give myself a device like that if I survive. No, stop that kind of talk. When I. And. All right. I'm actually going to do this so we know it's Manser. Manser said. And by the way, you could also do this if you don't know. You can have the comma after said instead of doing a period. I just blooped. Oh, yeah, remember bloop that like button. You gotta bloop that beard and bloop that like button. Likes definitely help the algorithm. As you can see, what I'm doing here is you can keep the dialogue thread moving. However, I could also do this. See if the damage is growing. So what's the difference? All right, this one is I'll check the back area, see if the damage is growing. This one is, if you don't know, I'll check the back area, see if the damage is growing, right? But there should be a little tiny beat pause, Manser said. So it's I'll check the back area, see if the damage is growing. It's still connected to him talking, but there's like a slight pause. That's all that means. Remember, presentation is part of it. I blooped Abby. Good job. Good job. Checking the back. You're being dirty, Miss Emma. All right. I'll check the back. Check the back. Let's see if the damage is growing. By the way, what I just did is because my OCD hates when the words look like that. Like, you know, when it's spread out like that, my brain is just like, no. But what's crazy is, even though I'm doing this so it looks good, like if I formatted it in Adobe, like none of that matters. Like, because the stylization of how it looks on here is going to be different than when I put it into Adobe or something like that. And you love it, Mr. Bellezza. That's why I gave you an applause, dear. That's why I gave you an applause. All right. Okay. Where are we? This. Mm. Mm. Very true. In Adobe, it's become fancy. Yeah, in Adobe, yeah, if anyone doesn't know, I do format books. So if you do need formatted books, you let me know. But I use Adobe InDesign, and really, at the end of the day, I'm just doing it so my eyes look. I like what I'm looking at, but it really doesn't matter because you're gonna adjust all that stuff in when you go back into the menu. Also, what I'm trying to do here is you're leaving me with them. I whispered, not that they couldn't hear me, but this guy felt like all I had to keep the status quo in my favor. So one of the things I try to avoid when I'm writing, whether it's first person or third person or anything, is I try to avoid the characters talking to the audience voice. And this is close to that, but I feel like it's her, the character Laura, processing her choice. So, I whispered, not that they couldn't hear me, but this guy felt like all I had to keep the status quo in my favor. It was like she was justifying it. So that's kind of okay. But if it was like, but this is the guy, or, I don't know. I just don't like when it feels like the character's talking to the audience. If you refresh the stream, Thomas gets an extra couple of adverts. Oh, yeah, that's right. Remember, I get paid when you guys watch the ads all the way through. And Flowers, you know I love you. I love you. Thank you so much. I feel like this chapter mixed POV as I see first person and third person. Well, when you're writing in first person, remember you can write in quote unquote third person. It's just always going to be filtered through the POV, and you also want to avoid I, right? So, uh, burst of air squealed through my hull. Okay, scattered and hard to find. Why are they just standing there? That is direct character narration or free indirect discourse through the character. Sure, I have to do all the work. That's first person, but what's the point? I know they're going to just kill me once this is all over. So like the physical behavior isn't there. This is internal. This has an external element, and then it goes into what I call qualifying. Move, please. I slid around G3, him and his damn gun pointed at me. That's all first, right? So, becoming. So those are all things, my patience was this close to snapping, but also I don't want to die. I don't want to. So this is all like internal, Because I watch on the laptop and the TV computer, and I'm flickering through scenes, so there's usually a delay. So I refresh. Fantastic. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Sometimes I have to refresh it too. I get that. I totally get that. All right. Do I need help? Yeah, maybe shoot the guy. So all this is I don't think there's third person strictly, but like he took some kind of device. He took out some kind of device, a small hand-sized ball, metalish. It floated up, and red lights cycled the outer sides. That's not third person limited or omniscient. That's still her perspective because she's saying a small hand-sized ball. She doesn't know what it is. She just knows it's a device, a small hand-sized ball. And then metalish. Metalish is an objective descriptor. It floated up. That's what's literally happening. And red light cycled the outer sides. How large is your ship? How large is your ship is his dialogue. I could actually would benefit me for doing that. All right. Large enough to hold cargo. Blah, blah, blah. All right. He said, clicking his thumb to a button, the device raised the red light. That's all still third. That's first person, right? So G3 stepped into the blue glow, his gun outright pointed toward me. Definitely first person. Also, if you notice, through the behavior of the characters in their dialogue blocks, it's still through her POV, right? The device landed in his open hand is still first person because that's what she is paying attention. Orn moved his... I should actually just write tracing the wall. What am I looking at? Mansa pressed the button on his device and a map appeared above it. This is what she would see. A full display of my ship expanded, rotating and blinking dots. Rotating and blinking dots. Yeah, this is... I don't think there's any third person going on, right? I might have to get the device like that if I survive. That's all internal. My hand reached out against my own will, holding him from leaving. He glanced down at my hand on his arm. You're leaving me with them? I whispered. Not that. I believe this is all first person. If I'm wrong, please, anyone, please definitely show. I'm always up for feedback. Because it could create a lesson, we could talk about it. We can talk about it. All right, we did an hour. So let's see. Where are we at? Ooh, 4:32. I think I'm going to end up having to make another chapter on this, but for now, I think we did good. 432 words. Not bad. I should have tried to finish this, but I don't remember. It's like, gang member has his gun out. We did that. We did this. This makes her uncomfortable as she tries to stay focused, but she keeps making comments. We've done that already. Oh, we actually did that. Additionally, no one is helping Laura. Moving around her ship and looking around. Oh, this I should definitely add into it. Laura tells him not to touch anything. Still fragile. Actually, I think I'm going to add this to the back. This part. Have a good day, Angel Faye! As my parents are in my place, already sleeping, and I need to put the little one to night. Good night, my friend. Thank you so very much for hanging out. Always a pleasure, and stay safe out there. You know you're in my thoughts. All right, to everyone out there, there we go. There we go. Boom. Let's talk about the poll. Again, if you haven't voted yet, we have 16 viewers. Potentially, some people didn't vote. Absolutely, Angel. Absolutely. Again, if you didn't vote, feel free to vote. It definitely helps. What almost made you quit writing? We have rejection and criticism. Ultimately, that's you submitted stuff and you kept getting told no. But the criticism, I added to that as well, because whenever you write and send it to people and people are just saying this isn't working, woo! Thank you so very much, Angel Faye. Writer's block for long periods, just can't get the words out. So what's the point of even writing? Comparing myself to other authors, honestly, not that I almost quit writing, but I do that. That is something I fall back on quite often, and I have to stop that. And then, of course, too much work, no longer fun. I feel I've never been in that situation, but we will get into that. Let me do my spiel. This is for anyone who has not watched the episode and or are watching it on the replay. I gotta do this. This is how I pay the bills. Remember to, if you didn't know, I am AI Thomas, and you need to know, please subscribe to the channel. That's right. Every time you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out. You'll get all the videos. I do lives every Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then every Wednesday is absolutely a video release with an optional Thursday and Friday release. If you didn't know, I have books available. That's right. I have more than 3 books, but you could go to makearightlefthehere.com, and that's right. I have a book on outlining, but more importantly, the first half is all about narrative understanding and flow, and then the second half really focuses on outlining. So whether you're a pantser or a gardener, this book is for you. If you really like epic fantasy, Death of a King is 100% available on Patreon and Substack. The advantage is you get the 0, the first, and the third drafts before the polish with educational elements. I talk about why choices and also how you can use the knowledge for your books. More importantly, though, I also show the short form outlines and the extended outlines. I changed it slightly for the second time. Basically, at the end of each act, I will show the short form outline in this full presentation. So with that said, I also have a book on how to be successful in entertainment. So if you're a writer like we are, remember the foundation for longevity is book 1, and book 2. Look at this. I got the right. This is the author's copy. I've been reading through it, making sure it looks pretty. Been making my notes and marking stuff down. I have the hard copy. The hardcover's coming Wednesday, so that's pretty exciting. So that book will be available. This is the second book in the series. Ultimately, it finalizes everything you learned in the first book, and then it's going to move on to how to be successful. If you didn't know, this is not the cover of the book, but I do have a noir book currently available. It's the 0 drafts. That's right. You can go to Patreon and or Substack and subscribe, and you could read the pages. Now, believe it or not, on Patreon and Substack, Patreon is the scribe tier to read my noir or the Death of a King series. Please bloop the beard and bloop the like button, because every like helps elevate the algorithm. And remember, YouTube really loves the algorithm. Other than that, what do I got? If you join the memberships for YouTube, or if you go to Patreon, or if you join and pay for Substack, you will also get my How to Write a Narrative series. It's on the 7th video currently. This week we'll start up the videos again. We'll have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We'll be all the way up to 15 videos by the end of, well, the next 8 weeks. There will definitely be 8 more videos. So feel free to join the membership program on YouTube, or you could go to Patreon and Substack. I will say this, Substack and Patreon are identical, basically. So if you pay for it, boom. Thank you so much. Sorry, I had to get all that out. All right, there we go. We're done with them. All right, sometimes I compare my writing to other authors, and it makes me feel better about my writing. Well, well, yes. Okay, well, that's fair. Sometimes other writers are starting their journey as well. But like, if I look like at a George R. R. Martin, or a Sanderson, or a J.D. Robb, or other, Patterson and James Patterson or something, I have to remember, the thing that I have to get myself out of is that their writing is their writing, and I have to remember that for my voice to stand out, for me to have a voice, I can't really rely on comparing our styles, because they are through the lens and experiences of our own lives. And it's always going to be different. Plus, James Patterson's style has evolved and grown, not only because he's written over 200 books, but he writes with other authors. He's also been writing for so long that his style has become the James Patterson style. Same thing with Stephen King. Same thing with every author who's been writing for so long. I am ultimately still a young author, even though I've been writing for 20 years, working with other people, doing screenwriting, developing other projects, ghostwriting, all that. As far as my voice goes, it's always developing, right? So it's the same thing with every writer out there, and that's the harm of really comparing. Is just like, also it's subjective, like whether we like someone else's writing or not. Like, I like Brandon Sanderson's concepts, but I wouldn't say I study his prose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like, this guy is writing literature. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean his writing is bad. It doesn't mean his books are bad. Clearly not. He's selling, right? But I don't like Stephen King's writing. However, I can't say he is a bad writer for many reasons. It's voice, right? So I think that's what I had to really fight to do, is stop comparing myself to him. Every time you subscribe, a beard gets accurate. Well, we all want that to be the noir cover, though. Yeah, but again, the face is me. This is me. I just took a picture of me posing, and then with my hair down, and then I asked AI to just add the rain and like the jacket and the hat. So I can't use it because it's AI. I don't use AI for my covers or generated art like that. But I just wanted some artwork just so I could have it. But I'm not going to ever try to make money off it. But it is a good. And also, to be fair, I don't look like Roosevelt. Roosevelt lives in on a planet with 2 suns. He's darker and he's younger. I look like I'm an old man in that. I'm 50, 48. He's like in his 20s. So it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. But I get it. Bloop, 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 the beard, Betty, bloop. Boop, 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 bitty, boop, boop. Okay. I voted I trained for a 10,000 meter metrics? Not a freaking marathon. I've bettied. I've bettied the boop. That was fabulous with the lungs. You know how it is. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Where I had to be like, yeah, I was out of breath. I tried to just get through the spiel. I don't really like. I'm not a fan of having to do that, but I have. You know what I like? It's the I have to. It's the part I don't like. I like talking craft. I like hanging out with everybody. I like just having fun. But the moment I have to be like, by the way, I got a book, and if you buy the book. However, I will say this much. If the channel continues growing, if people watch the AdSense, if people subscribe or join the memberships, it does bring in revenue. If people buy the books, it brings in revenues, and then it allows me to sort of keep doing this because I'm semi-retired. I don't have a day job. I write and I teach and I help people, right? So like the trade-off is like, do I just go on, do I beg people to buy my stuff or and to do this, or how do you do it? And it's like a really fine line, and I'm very uncomfortable with the buy my stuff. I've always been that way. Because, you guys, some people live on fixed incomes. Other people work very hard for their money. It's just, I wish I could just do it all for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wish, like, I could just have, you want a book? Here's a book. But, at the same time, it's probably why my rates for my services are so low. They're affordable. Because I don't want to take advantage of people. I want people to be able to do the thing they do. So then I create rates that help. You know what I'm saying? It's a process. No, not that they are bad, just that I am not as bad as I thought. I mean, that is fair. Yeah, we are definitely, as our own critics, the worst critic that we can. And to look at other writers, I like that you're saying it that way, because it's sort of not saying the other person is bad per se, but oh wow, I'm keeping up with this, or I'm fitting in, at least in that I'm able to sit at the table. So that's good. I like that. I also planned out my book series called Phoenix Angel Chronicles last night. You did the whole thing? I'm so proud of you. Let's give you an applause for it. You're kicking butt. All right. I can only read some of King's writing. Some of his stuff creeps me out. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm not creeped out by it. I'm just I'm not a fan of exposition aside dumps where it's like, Timmy walked through the door and his sister was a hard person to deal with, but she's always been the bully in school towards everybody. Anyway, he sits on the couch and reads a book. And you're like, why are we talking about the sister? But it's usually longer than that. And if you don't believe me, read the first chapter of it. Okay. Not that that's exactly what happens, but Georgie is walking down the street, and then we start talking about his sister, and it's weird. Just make it happen. I don't enjoy when you're difficult. I can pop around with my camera and take a pic when it's raining. I thought I saw you the other day. I really did, Em. I was like, what is this dude doing? My Phoenix Angel Chronicles is 6 books, but books 2 and 6 are more of a backstory. Cool. That's exciting. I like it. You can't go wrong with having fun. Thanks, Em. Get yourself a thrift store. Get a hat and a flash or raincoat. And you're set. Fun fact, I do have a coat like that. However, I don't have a hat like that. The only hat I have is my Jekyll and Hyde hat. Lost in the darkness, silence surrounds you. Once there was morning, now and this night I will find the answer. That's all I got. People are like, isn't it a writing channel? What's going on? We know the flasher raincoat is really the calling sign here. Buy the book. You do it so well, Thomas. Use a natural. I appreciate it. Buy my damn book. No, I had to retire my flasher coat. I got so depressed. When your nuts hit the ground, you know it's time to throw out the flasher coat. I did like The Stand. Needful Things, the movie, very good. The Stand TV show I haven't seen, but I remember there was a movie in the 90s or the early 2000s, late 90s or early 2000s. The Stand, they made like a limited series. I only saw a couple of it and I was young, but Needful Things, very good. Now I'm trying to decide if I should start over. Oh, start over because I have a great start over. Just do it. Have fun. Remember, writing is writing. Just enjoy it. I don't think you would like my story. I've done 3 of the things you seem to not care for. Talking to the reader, writing lyric. Well, no, writing lyrically. I love lyrical writing. In fact, my epic fantasy has the lyrical style to it, and my tenses are messed up. Well, tenses you do have to. I wouldn't say that's something that. The only thing I don't that you mentioned that I don't really care for is talking to the reader, but for my writing. Let me just get that cleared out there. The things I don't like doing for my writing doesn't mean I don't like other writers doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like if a writer, for example, I don't like exposition dumps. I like to see things out. That's an author choice for me. But Stephen King does these deep, long asides, and just writing in general would dictate that maybe that should be broken up, right? But he's Stephen King, so he's allowed to do whatever he wants, and that's the reality of writing. It's all made up. It's all fake, right? So you can do anything you want. But talking to the readers is just a choice that I like to try to stand by for my author voice. But if I'm reading someone else's book and the character's talking to the reader and it's working for the narrative's purpose, I love it. I mean, I love Deadpool. Deadpool breaks the fourth wall all the time. Writing lyrically, I'm obsessed with lyrical writing, especially when it feels more like literary fiction. And the tenses, though, I would recommend, if I may, and this is not a judgment on anybody, you do want to maintain strict tense continuity. However, you can write other POVs in different tenses. There is precedent for it. Just make sure the tenses don't change within a chapter and or the POV you're in. But you can, if you really want to do, it is an advanced technique. You could write in present tense, and then if they have a flashback or a memory, that could be written in past tense. There are precedents for rule breaking. I would try to stick to a specific tense as best you can, but it's all made up. But if you're starting out or if you haven't written 10 books yet, I just always recommend giving yourself restrictions only to allow yourself to have to make specific choices to get better writing out of you. And then you can earn the use of breaking the rules. You can earn the use of trying new things. Also, I wouldn't say I wouldn't like your writing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always there's somebody came in to my class. This is and I'll keep going. Someone came into my class and they gave me they just handed me papers. They were like, "Here, this is my first chapter. Can you tell me if it's good or if I should keep going?" And I just looked at it and I didn't read anything. And instantly I was like, "I'm gonna say these things are happening on the page before I read it." And I was right because I could see the formatting. I could see what was going on. They were a new writer. And I go, it's probably going to be a lot of explaining stuff in the beginning. And she's like, well, and the student was like, well, I want people to know what's going on. And I go, let me read it now. And it said, oh, they're a drunk, they're this, they're that. And I gave them some advice. And literally the next time they came in, it was already 100 times better. And what they did was they moved the narrative through the character and took away the dump of exposition, right? So we can always use advice. It's always a process. But at the end of the day, writing rules exist to sort of give you a starting place. And then as you develop your voice, it's always important to adjust and change. That's something. Who do I prefer, Jekyll or Hyde? Well, neither. They're both terrible people. They're both terrible people. As a performance, though, Jekyll would be probably the better choice as a performance because there's a little bit more nuance in the emotion that you play through because they are battling something. They are battling their consciousness. They're battling morality. Hyde, I don't think Hyde is strictly a one-note character, but it can come off that way because Hyde is just there to create chaos and destruction. But as a performer, I would prefer Jekyll. As a human being, neither. They are both morally corrupt, in my opinion. But that doesn't mean it's not. It's one of my favorite musicals. That's Moral's hat. Only his is velvet with a silver buckle. Oh, I'll have to paint mine, and then I'll cosplay. I'll cosplay it for you. That wasn't a lamppost. That's the one that I liked. The one from the early 90s. Oh, The Stand, right? Yeah. My chair. Yeah, it was. I have to see it again. I only saw a little bit of it, but I did like that they did it. I also have a Fox story playing out, and it's retelling, boo-boo, and of course, I'm going to see if I could add. Do it. Have fun. Remember, writing is all about exploration. All right, where are we? We got to get into it. Okay, the poll. What almost made you quit writing? Should we talk about them a little bit? Oh, we got a 16th vote. Wow, we got a three-way tie for second place. A three-way tie. I remember that miniseries, The Stand. Yeah, I believe there's another miniseries of The Stand, but we are talking about the ones from the 90s. I love when they do this. I prefer a miniseries over a movie when it comes to a book, because like even. Not that I'm going to watch it, but the Harry Potter television show, I think that is probably going to be a stronger approach, but I don't know if it's going to be a better adaptation. But the stronger approach, it's going to allow them to spend time in the book, whereas the movies, whether you like them or not, they did have to streamline things, cut stuff out, and they took stuff out. So I feel like a miniseries or even a TV show is going to be a stronger way to adapt long-form narrative. Because imagine Game of Thrones as a movie, right? Season 1 would be the movie, and season 2 would be book. Season 1 would be a movie, season 2 would be a movie. But if you saw those as movies, just so much nuance would be taken out. And they still took out nuance, because the first season, I believe, is a shorter season. Anyway. That's neither here nor there. All right, so we have a three-way tie with rejection, criticism, comparing myself to other authors, and then too much work, no longer fun. Writer's block for longer periods, 44%. Interesting. Yeah. I think I talked about it. My choice probably would be comparing myself to others, but I don't feel I've ever wanted to quit writing. I will say this though. When I first started, I talked about this yesterday, rejection and criticism, being told that I should find a trade because I have dyslexia. Not that they called it that, they just said I couldn't spell. That was a deterrent, and it did move me into drawing. I followed my artistic interest still to tell stories through art. But now, at my age, I don't really have, I haven't had it in a long time. But yeah, all right, we're going to end it. So writer's block for long periods of time is 44%. I love it. I love it. Okay, I couldn't vote for any of them because I do have a full-time job. I don't think you needed to have a job to vote for this one. This was just what almost made you quit writing, meaning like not writing at all. Like, so even giving up the hobby of writing. That's all that was about. That's okay, though. I listen to HP audiobooks while I am working. The movies are okay, but some of the choices they made are suspect. That's a fair assessment. Oh, the Harry Potters, yeah. That's a fair assessment. Not that this channel gets into critiquing that kind of stuff. I'll always critique craft over anything. That's why I like talking about screenplays or any other thing. But when it comes to choices, what are you gonna do? Like it is what it is, and ultimately, at the end of the day, I've said this to people in the past too. They go, "What what would be your strong stance on your books if somebody licensed it? I would have two rules. The first rule would be, can I be the head writer on the show? If they say no, then I'll revert to my second rule, which is my books still exist. So if they're going to change whatever they're changing, I would ask that they have at the beginning of every episode to say the original the original version of these books still exists. Feel free to read those and support the author. However, this is an adaptation of those books. Have at it. Do whatever you want. Pay me, and it becomes an adaptation. If I'm a showrunner, I would still adjust the presentation, because if we only get 10 episodes or 8 episodes, you're going to have to. But I believe the core elements of what makes that novel, the novel would still be there if I was a head writer. But again, the choices is what I'm talking about. The 95 version of Pride and Prejudice was the best adaptation of that book that I've seen. 6 full hours of Jane Austen's story. Oh, and Colin Firth, yum. Touche, right? Why is my chair? I definitely have to get a new chair. I used to write and take a break, and too many days would go by, and then months, and now I make sure not to do that. That's the best way to approach it, SB. Write every day, even if it's for 5 minutes. The BBC version is the best. Yeah. Fun fact, I don't live in Britain. All right, is that the one that was A-N-E? Sorry, I'm laughing. All right. I was reading something. Silliness. That's all I'm saying. All right. Writer's block lasted decades. Now, thanks to being here, I write every day. Not always on my book, just sitting down already. I mean, that's fair. You don't always have to write your book. When I say write for 15 minutes, I'm not just saying it's the M, just everybody. It's not always about writing. Sometimes it's about thinking. Writing, being a writer is questioning things, making choices, trying to connect ideas. At the end of the day, and I've said it a lot on this channel, writing is easy. Chris met Sarah. Anyone could write that. You want to make it a little bit more complex? Chris met Sarah at a deli. Chris met Sarah at a deli and was uncomfortable and shy at his attractiveness. Chris gave Sarah his number. Like, you can just write things. Writing is just easy. But who are these characters? Why is she embarrassed? Why does Chris ask her for a number? What is the significance of the deli? It's all about asking questions, creating positions for characters. Being a writer is asking questions, making choices, and standing by those choices to create confident decisions. That's it. It is hard. It was the one with Colin Firth. Not sure about the A&E part. Is that the A&E thing? Okay, yeah. In the U.S., that was... Oh, yeah, A&E. Yeah, BBC does show on A&E. I absolutely love that one. All right. I question my choices every day. Not brave enough to tell the missus, though. That's funny. That's really funny. All right. Since I have you here, let's do it. Answer, audience. Does anyone have any questions? Also, what people are thinking questions, let me tell you about this week's schedule. Wednesday will be plot point 23. There will be a video on that plot point where I'm just sort of isolating it and talking about it. On Friday, we will be talking about creating a strong chapter hook. But I will promise you this. The lesson will not just be you should start with action, or you should start with a question or mystery. It's going to be talking about what the true value of a chapter hook is and how to create that, but more importantly, what its job is for you as a writer, because we are trying to change the right mindset, right? So it should be a fun video on Friday. Next Saturday, there's a little bit of controversy with this choice, but I feel like it'll be fun. Let's see what happens. I'm going to be analyzing a chapter from Jenna Marissi, The Savior's Champion, the first chapter. We're going to look at the chapter, and just like I did with Game of Thrones and I did with Way of Kings and other things, we're going to basically analyze. We're going to look for the beginning, the middle, and end. We're going to look for, the writing style. We're gonna just basically try to learn from the writing, as we have done in the past, just for fun. Just for fun. Just for fun. Other than that, that is the week. All right, what do we got here? Is it possible to have first person and third person POVs in the same book? Yes. You cannot have it in the same scene, but you could technically have it in the same chapter as long as you have hard chapter breaks. Hard chapter breaks are the asterisks or a line or something like that. A soft chapter break is just a space between the passages. Why can you do that? Because, again, writing is made up, and all rules can be broken with purpose. First person could be the main protagonist. Third person would be that we're not in the main protagonist's mindset. Therefore, we are seeing the world outside of that inner concept. What I would recommend, though, is definitely establishing a strong voice for a first person character, just so that when you are in first person, it's not confusing. But yes, you can. Great question, by the way. Great question. It's 3:30 already? What am I going to have for dinner, everybody? That's really the question on my mind. Dinner! Are we going to eat some dinners? I don't know. Maybe I'll have some pizza. What do you think? Pizza? Pizza. Might have some pizza. Wish I would have found your channel sooner. I just converted 10 chapters to third person. Well, remember, are you, when you convert stuff, when you change your stuff, do you save your old files? That was something that I learned a long time ago with screenwriting that I continue to do with novel writing is I'll write like out a full draft. And then if I'm going to write the next draft, what I do is I just make sure those are saved. And then I just open up new versions of them. That always helped me. Oh, yeah. Well, SB, you found this channel, and I'm grateful because now we get to work together, and I get to see your story come to life, and that's exciting. Pizza sounds good. My fam is having hot dogs. Ooh, hot dogs, yummy. You know what's funny? Sometimes, and if people didn't know, my father's anniversary, 4-year anniversary, just passed of him passing. Or as I like to call it, he left me. All right, he liked hot dogs. So every once in a while I find myself, I'm not really a hot dog fan per se. Like I'm not like, woo! But every once in a while I find myself buying hot dogs to eat them to remember my papa. Oh, yes to the pizza. Yeah, pizza. I think I'm going to do pizza. I might do pizza. Do I order a pizza or do I just heat up a cold pizza? I mean, it's basically the same thing. You know, where I live, there is no real pizza. You know what I'm saying? Does that splash or fire icon have a face in it? Doesn't it? It looks like it does. It looks like it has like a little... It looks like it has like a fire fairy or something like that in it. I think it does. Dads will do that. Yeah, they sure do. They just leave. I was like, where are you going, Papas? Spaghetti and meatballs, what I really want to have, but I was overruled? Diana, you're a grown woman. Have your spaghetti and meatballs. I miss spaghetti and meatballs. I miss pasta. I miss that stuff. I just haven't really eaten in a long time. But thank you, my friend. Finding your channel has been the best thing ever. I appreciate that, SB. You're so lovely. I'll see you tonight. She is fire. You drew that? That looks great. Great work. I love seeing that kind of art. Fantastic. Yeah. I don't cook unless I absolutely have to. I can make a mean salad though. I some salads are mean. Like you start poking the lettuce and it's like, stop it. And you're like, why is my food talking? Flowers. I appreciate that. I know you're probably joking, but I appreciate that comment. Absolutely appreciate it. Just... And by the way, not that there isn't good information. It's just, let me Google this real quick. All information is good information. It's just how do you process it? How do you use it? Thank you. She's part of a series. It's very cool. Do you have a website or something where we could look at the other art, or an Instagram or something? I'd love to see the other artwork. I can do steak. A good steak is definitely worth eating. I'm just gonna put that out there. Same different. Tumblr. What's your Tumblr? What's your Tumblr? Put the link in the description. Oh, same name. Let's see if we can find that. Tumblr, and I'll put the link in. Jazz UBV 6JB. I think I just spelled that wrong. Tumblr. Looking for it, boo, boo. I don't see it. Is it the same name as in like the BV? BV 6JB. I cannot find it, my friend. That's all right. I was gonna shout you out. I was gonna put it up there. So, all right. Okay. Do. Oh, all right. There we go. JSAM 1021. Doot, 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 doot. Tumblr. They really changed Tumblr from the last time I was on it. Look at this thing. Blogs. Tags. I don't know. Oh, you have a Reddit? There it is. I can't find the Tumblr, but I think I found... No, that is not. I cannot find it now. All right. I can't find it, but I did subscribe to your YouTube channel. YouTube channel. Yeah. All right. Go feed the Morticia. We're going to get going anyway in a second. We are definitely going to be leaving in a second. I got to eat. I got to leave. Flowers, the exact happened to me. 27 PPO feels right to me, so I planted myself here. Right? And I appreciate that. Trust me. You can't see anything without having... Oh, all right. Well, that's how they get you. That's how they get you. That's how they get you. I used to have an account on there, but I don't remember what it was. All right, everybody. I had a lot of fun. If there's no more questions, let's call it a day. I definitely need to eat some food. I need to eat some food. I'm so hungry. All right, everyone. I'm out. I'm going to go. I'll see you next weekend. We're going to have a lot of fun next week. But other than that, I'm out. I'm Thomas J. Bellezza, and as always, keep developing the right mindset. I'll see you next time.